In the heart of the Zambian wilderness, Kafue is not only the largest national park in the country, but also one of the most diverse ecosystems in Africa. This land is the stage for intense pursuits, where predators hold absolute dominance across the savannah. More than 200 lions control territories here, forming one of the largest populations in sub-Saharan Africa. Cheetahs, agile and silent, also thrive in this park, reaching the highest density found anywhere in Zambia. Kafue is also home to more than 800 African elephants, giants that play a key role in shaping the landscape. Together, these species create a finely balanced chain of survival between predator and prey. Every step and every breath in this wilderness is connected to an ancient struggle for survival that has never ceased. And in this untamed world, a new predator may be waiting to emerge. This is Kafue, a vast and powerful land known as the last paradise, the predators of Kafue. Hidden in western Zambia, Kafue National Park spans nearly 650 square miles, making it one of the largest and most diverse wilderness areas in Africa. This reserve contains ecosystems that stretch from the floodplains in the north to the dry savannas in the south. This variety of landscapes supports a wide range of wildlife and drives intense competition for survival between predators and prey. In the northern Busanga Plains, lions are the dominant predators. Unlike in many other regions, lions in Kafue do not live strictly alone or in large prides. They adapt their social structure to match the terrain and the availability of prey. Here, lions develop stealth and ambush skills within the tall grasses where lechwe and puku antelopes gather in herds. Not far away, in the swampy areas along the rivers, Nile crocodiles hold the position of classic ambush predators. As the largest reptiles in Africa, crocodiles in Kafue use the murky waters to remain hidden before launching rapid strikes. They do not chase their prey but wait for animals to approach within range. This is an efficient strategy in a habitat with multiple sandbanks and dense reed beds. However, crocodiles depend heavily on water levels and the presence of animals that come to drink, making them vulnerable when climate conditions shift. Across the dry southern savannas, African wild dogs demonstrate superior hunting strategy. With high speed and near-perfect coordination, they bring down prey by splitting herds and isolating the weakest individual. Wild dogs are not as strong as lions or hyenas, but their advantage is the cohesion of the pack and their ability to adapt their tactics. Their only weakness is intense competition with other predators. When discovered, they often abandon their kill to avoid direct confrontation. Above the plains of Kafue, opportunists patrol the sky. The Lappet-Faced Vulture, a powerful scavenger, often appears shortly after each hunt. With broad wings and a strong beak, vultures efficiently consume the remains left by larger predators. They do not kill prey directly but play a critical role in cleaning carcasses and reducing the risk of disease within the ecosystem. Although they are not primary predators, they are an essential link in maintaining the balance of this biological system. Kafue is a unique landscape where predator populations, from the largest to the smallest, hold specific roles. The diversity of terrain and climate has maintained a stable density of wildlife for decades. However, this same diversity creates a delicate balance in the food chain. When one species grows too strong or declines too sharply, the entire ecosystem responds in a chain reaction. Every species and every habitat in Kafue shows both strengths and limitations. This is not only a place to witness dramatic hunts, but also living evidence of nature's ongoing evolution. A system that is dynamic, interconnected, and driven by strict ecological rules. Kafue is an open and dynamic ecosystem, but also a vulnerable one. Its diversity of animals, plants, and terrain creates a tightly connected biological network. Every cycle of rain and drought, and every shift in flowing water, shapes the rhythm of this wilderness, where the fragile balance between survival and adaptation is always present. The cheetah is the fastest carnivore on the planet, but it is also one of the most vulnerable of the big cats. Once widespread across the African continent, it now survives in less than half of Africa's countries, with an estimated population of fewer than 100 adult individuals. Out of 54 African countries, only about 25 still report wild cheetah populations. In Zambia, fewer than 100 individuals remain, concentrated mainly in Kafue National Park and Liua Plain. Among these areas, Kafue is the most critical, holding a population of about 60 adult cheetahs, making it the most important stronghold for the species in the country. The cheetah has evolved over millions of years to become one of the most specialized predators of the savannah. However, the ongoing loss of habitat and population decline have reduced its genetic diversity to critically low levels. This weakness makes cheetahs highly vulnerable to threats such as climate change, infectious diseases, and habitat changes. Unlike other big cats with greater physical strength, cheetahs depend entirely on speed and precision during hunts, making every failed attempt costly. The Busanga Plains in the northwest of Kafue are one of the most important habitats for cheetahs. As the Lufupa River recedes during the dry season, the grasslands open up, attracting large herds of red lechwe, puku, and impala. This seasonal change creates prime opportunities for cheetahs to approach prey under favorable conditions. Unlike forested or rocky terrain in other regions, the open and flat plains of Busanga are ideal for high-speed pursuits. A cheetah's greatest strength is its ability to accelerate explosively. From a standstill, it can reach speeds of nearly 60 miles per hour within just a few seconds, thanks to a body built for speed. A flexible spine, elastic muscles, and semi-retractable claws provide superior traction during sprints. Its long tail acts as a counterbalance and a steering tool, allowing rapid changes in direction without losing stability, a critical advantage when prey makes sudden turns. In the Kafue ecosystem, the cheetah is an essential link in the food chain. Its precision and speed in hunting help regulate populations of small and medium-sized herbivores. Maintaining balance across the grasslands. Yet this specialized way of hunting, combined with its biological design, makes the cheetah extremely vulnerable to rapid environmental changes. With its small and shrinking population, the survival of the cheetah in Kafue is proof of the park's relative ecological stability, but it is also a stark reminder of the thin line between adaptation and extinction. Across the Busanga Plains, where grasslands, seasonal swamps, and retreating channels converge, lions play a critical role in the ecosystem. Their presence shapes the behavior of prey species and directly influences population density. Food chain structure. and the natural rhythms of this vast landscape. Unlike other big cats that rely on solitary hunting, lions maintain a unique social structure by living in prides. Each pride typically consists of several adult females, their cubs, and one or two coalition males. This social system enables them to execute coordinated and organized hunts, increasing their success rate and expanding their range. Adult females are the core of the pride. Leading most activities from hunting and cub care to defending against competing predators or intruding males. On the open terrain of Busanga, where visibility is wide but cover is limited, hunting requires both strategy and precision teamwork. Lionesses use low rises, termite mounds, or tall grass along the marsh edges to approach prey without being detected. Once they close the distance, a bite force averaging 1,000 pounds of pressure, far stronger than most other predators, is enough to subdue prey within seconds. However, strength does not guarantee invincibility. Lions face constant challenges in their natural environment. The first is the high energy cost of every hunt. Failed chases leave the pride hungry and physically depleted, increasing the risk of injuries, especially when prey fights back. The second is internal competition between prides. When a coalition of males takes over, infanticide often follows, as new males kill existing cubs to bring females back into estrus, disrupting pride stability and reducing the survival of the next generation. Human-related risks also remain present. Even in Busanga, where protection is relatively strict, unregulated tourism and the expansion of agriculture along the park's borders are gradually restricting the lion's natural range. Despite these pressures, the lions of Busanga maintain their central role within this grassland-wetland ecosystem. Their presence regulates herbivore populations and indirectly influences vegetation density and the flow of energy across the landscape. In this complex and ever-changing environment, lions are a clear example of the balance between strength, social organization, and survival. But without stable habitats and consistent protection, even the apex predator cannot ensure its long-term existence. The roar of Busanga still echoes, but its future depends on sustainable conservation and collective stewardship. Across the vast Busanga Plains, where flooded grasslands meet scattered woodlands, the spotted hyena stands as one of the most ecologically influential predators. It does not possess the extreme speed of the cheetah or the large size of the lion, but the spotted hyena excels through its tightly organized social structure. It's efficient cooperative hunting, and one of the most powerful bite forces among terrestrial carnivores. A specialized jaw structure allows the spotted hyena to crush even the hardest bones. Including those of buffalo or zebra. Its bite force can reach 1,000 pounds of pressure, equaling or even surpassing that of some larger cats. Beyond its biological advantages, the spotted hyena displays exceptional behavioral adaptability, reflected in one of the most complex social systems among predatory mammals. A single clan can include more than 100 individuals, organized under a strict matriarchal hierarchy. An alpha female leads the group and coordinates most activities, while even the lowest-ranking females outrank all males. Rank is inherited through the maternal line, directly influencing access to food and reproductive opportunities. This structured hierarchy reduces internal conflict and improves efficiency during group hunts or when processing large carcasses. When hunting, spotted hyenas typically target weak, old, or young individuals that can be separated from the herd. They can run at speeds of up to 37 miles per hour and maintain long pursuits better than most predators. Their hearts make up nearly 1% of their body weight, providing exceptional endurance, a critical advantage for a strategy based on relentless chasing. Rather than ambush. Once they close in on their target, the clan coordinates multi-directional attacks, leaving the prey with little chance of escape. Even when they do not make the initial kill, hyenas are capable of consuming carcasses or stealing kills from other predators. This behavior is not dependence but a form of adaptive efficiency, reducing energy expenditure when easier opportunities present themselves. Although often misunderstood as scavengers, spotted hyenas play an irreplaceable ecological role. They regulate populations of antelopes and other herbivores, maintaining balance within the food chain. By keeping herds on the move, they help prevent overgrazing in specific areas, allowing vegetation to recover. Additionally, their ability to consume and break down carcasses and bones releases nutrients back into the soil, supporting the growth of aquatic grasses and other plant systems. Despite their strengths, spotted hyenas face significant challenges. They often compete aggressively with lions and cheetahs for territory and access to prey. Along the outer edges of Busanga, where natural landscapes intersect with human activity, hyenas sometimes fall victim to traps or retaliatory killings linked to livestock conflicts. The rigid structure of their hierarchy can also create limitations for males, as reproductive success is concentrated among a small number of dominant females. Yet, despite these vulnerabilities, the spotted hyena maintains its crucial position within the Busanga ecosystem. It serves as both an apex predator and an efficient biological recycler. Hyenas clean the environment by removing carcasses and contribute to the nutrient and energy cycles that sustain this diverse floodplain ecosystem. The spotted hyena may not be the most visually striking predator, but a closer look at how it survives and manages large social groups in such a demanding landscape reveals its remarkable evolutionary success and specialized adaptation to the complex dynamics of Busanga. Across the Busanga Plains, one of the most diverse and dynamic ecosystems in Zambia, the black-backed jackal represents a highly efficient small-scale predator. While attention often focuses on the three dominant predators, lions, cheetahs, and spotted hyenas, the black-backed jackal quietly fulfills multiple ecological roles, with hunting and scavenging skills that make it one of the most versatile carnivores of its size. Body size is not an advantage for this species. They stand only 18 to 20 inches tall, weigh between 18 and 29 pounds, and have slender, agile frames. However, equipped with sharp teeth and strong jaws, black-backed jackals can hunt and kill a wide range of prey, including rodents, hares, reptiles, and birds. Beyond their role as opportunistic hunters, black-backed jackals contribute significantly to the Busanga grassland ecosystem through less visible behaviors. They help remove carcasses from the landscape, reducing the risk of disease and recycling nutrients back into the soil. Their ability to digest a variety of fruits and disperse seeds through their scat indirectly supports the regeneration of vegetation after the dry season. By preying on young or small antelopes, they help regulate herbivore populations, reducing grazing pressure on grasses and aquatic plants, and allowing vegetation to recover. Even so, their small size and highly flexible survival strategies allow them to maintain relatively stable populations year after year. By relying on diverse hunting tactics and ecological versatility rather than physical strength alone, black-backed jackals thrive as adaptive survivors. They may not produce dramatic high-speed chases, but they remain an essential component in maintaining the ecological balance of the expansive Busanga Plains. Along the year-round flowing waters of the Lunga and Lufupa rivers, the African fish eagle is not only an apex predator, but also an unmistakable sound and visual presence in the ecosystem. Its distinct call, high, powerful, and drawn out, echoes across the wetlands and floodplain forests of central Zambia, making it one of the most recognizable natural signals in the region. As a raptor specialized for semi-aquatic environments, the African fish eagle has a body perfectly adapted for spotting, striking, and lifting prey from the water. With a wingspan of up to 8 feet and a body weight of nearly 9 pounds for females, it can soar for hours, scanning the river surface from a safe height. Its striking appearance, a white head and chest contrasting with dark brown wings and black flight feathers, makes it easy to identify against the open sky. Its vision is its most powerful weapon. With millions of photoreceptor cells in each eye, the eagle can detect the slightest movement on the water from a long distance. Unlike some raptors that breed in solitude, African fish eagles form long-term pairs. Both individuals defend the territory and share the responsibility of raising their young. This cooperative behavior stabilizes the population, reduces territorial conflicts, and helps regulate the density of fish and other small aquatic species, maintaining ecological balance within the freshwater system. The African fish eagle is not only a predator, but also an ecological indicator. Its stable presence reflects the quality of the water, the biodiversity of the river system, and the resilience of the surrounding habitat. When its calls still echo above the waterways, and when its nests remain on the high branches along the riverbanks, these are signs that the Lunga and Lufupa ecosystems continue to function as thriving, balanced natural systems. beneath the calm surface of the Lunga and Lufupa rivers. One of Africa's most formidable predators waits in silence. Nile crocodiles in Kafue National Park stand out not only for their size, but also as prime examples of a reptile species that has evolved successfully to dominate complex freshwater systems. Adult crocodiles in the Lufupa region typically measure between 11 and 16 feet in length and weigh over 650 pounds. Exceptional individuals can exceed 20 feet, making them the largest animals in the lower Kafue Basin. This immense size gives them absolute dominance in physical strength. With a single bite, they can crush the bones of hoofed animals such as antelope or buffalo. The power of their jaw muscles is a defining anatomical feature. Their jaw-closing muscles are extremely strong, enabling explosive strikes, while their jaw-opening muscles remain weak. This imbalance reflects their one-strike hunting strategy to seize and finish prey quickly. Their attacks rely heavily on surprise and rarely involve prolonged chases. The rich river ecosystems of Kafue create ideal conditions for ambush hunting. A crocodile can remain submerged for hours, exposing only its eyes, nostrils, and ears. The three features it needs to monitor prey and coordinate a strike. When prey, often mammals coming to drink, approaches the riverbank, the crocodile launches from the water at speeds of up to 9 miles per hour, clamps onto the target, and drags it below the surface. For larger prey, they perform the death roll underwater to tear flesh apart, making it easier to swallow. In Kafue, Nile crocodiles play a critical role in regulating populations of riverine species and maintaining the balance of the food web. As apex predators, they control numbers of antelope, fish, and even decomposing carcasses, ensuring ecological equilibrium. However, their position at the top of the food chain also makes them highly vulnerable to environmental changes. In a complex system like Kafue, the Nile crocodile serves as a key biological indicator of ecosystem health. When populations are stable and natural behaviors persist, the rivers function as balanced living systems. But if rising temperatures, pollution, and overexploitation continue to escalate, these giants beneath the water could become the next victims of an accelerating ecological decline. Under the hot, dry skies of Kafue and within its rich ecosystem, one bird with a distinctive appearance performs a critical ecological role in the natural decomposition cycle: the marabou stork. It does not hunt like an eagle or ambush like a crocodile, but its presence is closely tied to the final stage in the life cycle of many animals here. Standing up to 5 feet tall with an average wingspan of more than 5 feet, the marabou stork is among the largest birds on the continent. It weighs between 9 and 20 pounds. But its hollow bone structure allows it to soar easily on thermal currents, scanning the ground from a safe height. This ability enables the stork to detect carcasses from long distances, which form the main part of its diet. The marabou stork is a specialized scavenger, using its long, hooked bill to tear through tough hides that many other species cannot penetrate. Its bare head and neck prevent feathers from becoming coated with blood or bacteria, a biological adaptation for surviving in environments filled with decaying matter. Along riverbanks such as the Lunga and Lufupa, where water flows year-round, marabou storks are often seen standing alone or in small groups, ready to feed on the remains of crocodiles, antelope, or even elephants. During the dry season, when mortality rates rise due to limited water, their role becomes even more important as they help remove carcasses and reduce the risk of disease spread. In recent years, studies from several regions in Africa have recorded sharp population declines caused by the loss of nesting sites and contamination from plastic waste and heavy metals. Marabou storks have increasingly been observed gathering near landfills and slaughterhouses, where food is abundant but comes with high risks of poisoning and pollution. Although the species is not yet classified as globally endangered, localized declines have raised concerns, particularly in major reserves like Kafue, where sufficient space and resources still exist to safeguard its ecological role in the natural decomposition cycle. In an ecosystem as diverse and demanding as Kafue, not every species that matters is defined by speed or strength. Some, like the marabou stork, work quietly in the background, maintaining the delicate balance that keeps this complex system functioning. Along the dry banks of the Lunga and Lufupa rivers, where the terrain transitions between mumbo woodland and open grasslands, lives a small but highly organized carnivore, the banded mongoose. Despite its modest size and lack of formidable claws or fangs, this species secures a stable position within the competitive ecosystem of Kafue through coordinated group behavior and efficient collective strategies. Adult banded mongooses weigh only 3 to 5 pounds and measure 12 to 18 inches in body length, excluding a tail that can reach 12 inches. Their low, sturdy bodies and short legs with sharp claws are perfectly adapted for digging, searching, and extracting small prey hidden beneath soil or leaf litter. In the dry Mumbo woodlands, where large termite mounds and gravelly soils dominate, groups can number up to 75 individuals. They frequently relocate to avoid predators and to prevent overuse of food sources. They occupy abandoned monitor lizard burrows or old termite mounds, which often have multiple entrances for quick escape and better temperature regulation during the midday heat. Within the Kafue ecosystem, the banded mongoose is not an apex predator, but serves as an important mid-level species. It helps regulate populations of insects and small reptiles while providing a prey base for larger carnivores. Its survival depends on strong group cohesion, behavioral flexibility, and the ability to maintain a stable social structure across generations. Small but cooperative, agile but disciplined, these traits allow the banded mongoose to persist in the unpredictable wilderness of Africa. In the southeastern corner of Kafue National Park, Lake Itezhi spans 150 square miles, making it one of the most significant wetland areas in Zambia. Formed after the construction of the Itezhi Dam on the Kafue River in the 1970s, the lake has become a vital refuge for hundreds of waterbird species. Among them, two stand out for their size, behavior, and ecological importance: the saddle-billed stork and the Goliath heron. When water levels rise during the rainy season, saddle-billed storks gather in the shallow zones of Lake Itezhi, where fish and amphibians concentrate in high numbers. This is the tallest stork in Africa, reaching up to 5 feet in height with a wingspan of nearly 9 feet. Its appearance is unmistakable, with a long red bill marked by a distinctive black band and a yellow frontal shield. This adaptation aids in species recognition and precise targeting during hunts. The stork has exceptionally sharp vision, allowing it to detect prey hidden beneath the surface. Its hunting strategy is deliberate and efficient, moving slowly and striking with pinpoint accuracy. Its diet includes tilapia, catfish, crabs, frogs, water snakes, young birds, and occasionally small rodents. Before swallowing its catch, it removes hard or sharp parts, demonstrating refined prey handling skills and high adaptability in wetland environments. At Lake Itezhi, the ecological role of the saddle-billed stork becomes most visible during peak flood seasons. By controlling populations of fish and amphibians, it helps maintain a stable food chain and reduces the risk of disease outbreaks caused by weak or decaying animals. However, their strong dependence on stable water levels and quiet nesting environments makes them highly sensitive to ecological disruptions. Climate shifts, or human activity around the lake, can interfere with breeding cycles and alter their distribution patterns. If the saddle-billed stork represents cooperative behavior and stable breeding systems, the Goliath heron embodies solitary hunting and strict territorial control. As the largest heron in the world, the Goliath heron can reach a height of 5 feet, with a wingspan extending beyond 5 feet, making it far larger than any other heron species. Its plumage, a mix of slate gray and chestnut brown, along with elongated neck plumes and a distinct black stripe running from the neck to the underparts, makes it unmistakable among the water birds of the region. At Lake Ive, the combination of clear water and abundant aquatic life provides ideal conditions for this species. Unlike other herons that live in loose groups, the Goliath heron lives alone and maintains strict territorial boundaries, with each bird occupying several hundred meters of shoreline. Its hunting strategy is built on patience. It can stand motionless for hours in shallow water, waiting for fish to move within striking range, then deliver a precise and rapid thrust to secure its prey. Unlike smaller herons, the Goliath heron can handle large fish, sometimes up to 20 inches long. After capturing its prey, it drags the fish to shore, stuns it with repeated strikes, and then swallows it whole. Although fish make up the majority of its diet, it also feeds on frogs, water snakes, juvenile turtles, and occasionally small animal carcasses washed ashore. The Goliath heron typically builds its nest on small islands or floating reed beds, far from human disturbance. These nests can span 5 feet in diameter and hold 2 to 5 pale blue eggs. Both parents share incubation and chick rearing for about 100 days. The nest not only serves as a breeding platform, but also as a micro-habitat for other species seeking shelter. However, the Goliath heron's solitary lifestyle and narrow territorial range create vulnerabilities. If environmental changes disrupt its territory, a displaced individual has limited options for adaptation or relocation. Its dependence on large fish also makes it sensitive to fluctuations in aquatic ecosystems and water quality. Both the saddle-billed stork and the Goliath heron hold critical ecological roles within the food web of Lake Itezhi. One species dominates the shallows, preying on fish and amphibians, while the other controls deeper waters where larger fish thrive. This division of feeding zones reduces direct competition and maximizes the use of available resources across the wetland. Beneath the surface, fish, amphibians, and crustaceans flourish, sustained by the nutrient-rich sediments delivered by the Kafue River and the dense vegetation around the lake. Above the water, these large birds regulate populations and stabilize the ecosystem by controlling prey numbers and providing nesting and roosting opportunities for other species. Lake Itezhi is not only a wetland, but also a living hub of interconnected biological systems, where water birds are central to maintaining the health and balance of the Kafue ecosystem. Each seasonal flood renews this cycle, sustaining fish, birds, reeds, and the enduring rhythm of this unique ecological landscape. Within the wetland ecosystem of Lake Itezhi, home to some of Africa's largest water birds, the wattled crane stands out as one of the rarest. At a height of over 5 feet, and with a wingspan reaching 5 feet, it is the tallest and least common of Africa's 6 native crane species. Its impressive size makes it easy to identify, but also highly dependent on expansive, undisturbed wetlands with deep water and stable ecological conditions. Lake Itezhi, located in the southeastern corner of Kafue National Park, remains one of the few places in Zambia that still meets the strict habitat requirements of this species. The lake offers seasonally flooded grasslands, diverse aquatic vegetation, and relatively clean water, all essential elements for the wattled crane's survival and reproduction. One of its most distinctive features is the pair of white wattles that hang from its throat, changing shape slightly with levels of stress or alertness. Although not highly vocal, wattled cranes communicate and signal awareness through deliberate movements of the head and neck. Their long, pointed bills allow them to probe deeply into the soft mud to extract roots, tubers, and submerged stems of aquatic plants such as sedges and water lilies, their primary food sources. Despite their vulnerability, wattled cranes hold an important ecological role. They disperse seeds of aquatic plants through their droppings, help maintain the structure of wetland vegetation, and act as sensitive indicators of wetland health. Their presence signals that the hydrological system is still functioning properly, while their absence often indicates habitat decline. At Lake Ive, small groups of wattled cranes still survive, but their numbers are not sufficient to maintain a stable long-term population without active conservation measures. Climate change, water pollution, and human disturbance remain the most significant threats to their survival. The wattled crane exemplifies the intricate connection between species and ecosystems. Its survival depends not only on its own adaptability, but also on the natural flood cycles, vegetation health, and overall integrity of the wetland environment. Protecting this rare bird means preserving the fragile and shrinking wetland ecosystems of Africa. Across the vast expanse of the Nangula Plains in Kafue National Park, the Lappet-Faced Vulture is Africa's largest and most powerful scavenger, playing an irreplaceable role in the ecosystem. It is not only the dominant species among vultures, but also a natural biological filter that prevents the spread of diseases from animal carcasses. With a wingspan reaching 5 feet, a height of nearly 5 feet, and a body weight of up to 20 pounds, the Lappet-Faced Vulture is unmatched in size and strength. Its greatest advantage is its large, hooked, and powerful beak, capable of tearing through thick skin, tough muscle, and even the dense tendons of large animals. When the carcass of a buffalo, antelope, or even an elephant is left after a hunt, only the Lappet-Faced Vulture is strong enough to open the initial access point, allowing smaller vultures and microorganisms to complete the decomposition process. Biologically, this vulture has an extremely acidic stomach, strong enough to digest up to 3 pounds of decaying flesh in a single feeding, without being harmed by bacteria, viruses, or other pathogens. This rapid consumption removes carcasses from the environment, reducing the risk of disease outbreaks among herbivores, predators, and even nearby human communities. Although primarily a scavenger, the Lappet-Faced Vulture is opportunistic when food is scarce. It may hunt small animals such as crabs, fledglings, reptiles, or rodents, and occasionally raid nests or probe mud for snakes. However, these activities make up only a small part of its diet, as its anatomy is specialized for scavenging rather than active predation. On the Nangula Plains, where large populations of antelope, zebras, and buffalo thrive, Lappet-Faced Vultures are often seen circling above areas where predators have made a kill. With exceptional eyesight, they can detect carcasses from hundreds of feet in the air, scanning an area spanning hundreds of square miles. Once a target is identified, they descend swiftly to initiate the natural decomposition process, recycling nutrients back into the soil, a vital step for the growth of grasses, shrubs, and other vegetation. Despite their critical ecological role, Lappet-Faced Vultures face increasing threats. Their survival depends on 2 key factors: the continued presence of large animals, which provide a steady source of carcasses, and the availability of tall, sturdy trees for nesting. They typically build their nests in isolated, tall trees that offer wide visibility and minimal disturbance. As grasslands are reduced by livestock grazing or agricultural expansion, suitable nesting sites are becoming increasingly scarce. Another looming threat is the use of veterinary drugs like diclofenac, which caused catastrophic vulture die-offs in South Asia. This species is highly sensitive to toxins, and ingesting a single contaminated carcass can lead to mass mortality. Though often perceived as harsh or intimidating compared to more charismatic predators, the lappet-faced vulture is an essential component of the ecosystem. In Nangula, its presence signals a healthy environment, a complete biological cycle, and a vital barrier between carcasses and the spread of disease. Protecting this vulture is not only about preserving biodiversity, but also about maintaining balance and safety across the entire African savanna ecosystem. The ecosystem of Kafue National Park is on a path toward recovery. Thanks to persistent efforts from conservation organizations and support from the international community, positive changes are beginning to take shape. However, this recovery cannot be sustained without participation from individuals at every level. Protecting Kafue depends not only on rangers or advanced technologies. Every small action, from rejecting wildlife products to protecting forests to sharing knowledge about nature, contributes to building a resilient ecosystem. This is not only a responsibility, but also an opportunity to reduce the losses faced by endangered species, from elephants and lions to scavenger birds that maintain biological balance. Supporting conservation organizations is another way to safeguard this land, from funding research to assisting with environmental education programs. For those who have visited Kafue, sharing your experience can inspire awareness and action. Kafue is changing, and that change needs more hands to keep it moving forward.